Alrighty. Welcome in, fellas. We're back. Day 2 of the NFL draft is here. And we are just moments away from the San Francisco 49ers being put on the clock here. 33rd overall. Lions due up at 50. We got rounds 2 and 3 this evening. Of course, an electric first half of the draft last night, all kinds of shenanigans. And then the Lions take Blake Miller, 17th overall. Very happy with that. And now the Lions are due up at 50, as I said. We got a good amount of picks between them and the top of this draft, but there are a few guys for sure that I have my eye on for the Lions here in round 2. A couple of the edge rushers. Jermod McCoy is still on the board. So there's a lot of good stuff here. A lot of good stuff. Jermod McCoy is still there. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is still there. TJ Parker, as I said. Zion Young is still there. Cassius Howell is still there. Gabe Akis is still there. You could go CJ Allen. There's a lot of stuff the Lions could do as we get closer to their pick. But yeah, man, lots of excitement. So how are we doing here for night 2, ladies and gentlemen? How are we doing as Roger Goodell is going to take the stage? Just kidding. We're going to get a commercial break first. Because why would anything be simple? So, the broadcast I'm watching is currently playing the audio for a commercial over the NFL draft intro, like, hype package. So I'm currently listening to some sort of insurance ad while watching the draft. That's lovely. That's exactly what you love to see. Thank you, broadcasters in this country. And by this country, I mean Canada. Unbelievable. What is this? This is some garbage. Anyways. Unless that was the legit audio from the draft, which would be hilarious. Anyways, night 2 of the draft set to kick off any second now. Here comes not the commissioner. I lied. I don't even know what's going on. The ESPN broadcast. God forbid they do anything for me. There's Zion Young, the Mizzou edge. He's definitely an option for the Lions. Zachariah Branch might be the first player in, well, soon to be NFL history, but first player in history to have a police report come out about him and his draft stock improved. Because I don't know if you guys saw that story of Branch being stopped by the police. And they arrested him because they asked him to stand back and he took a step back. And I guess it wasn't enough. They wanted him to stand further back, so they arrested him for getting in the way. Yeah, I've never gotta love it. Gotta love it. So Branch, first player ever to have his stock improve with a police report. There are a lot of people on the stage right now. What do we got? Is that Pat McAfee? What is he doing there? Get out of here. That is Pat. You can tell it's Pat because he's the only guy on the stage in a t-shirt. Everyone else is in a suit. Well, are these the people announcing picks on day 2, maybe? Could be that. So the commissioner's at the podium to start round 2. Do 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 do. There's another 260,000 people there in Pittsburgh for round 2 and 3, I guess day 2. Also should mention before we get going here is whatchamacallit, as you can see, I have the ticker on the bottom of the screen, that this is round 2. Once we get through the second round, I will then alter the ticker for round 3 and put all the round 3 picks up. And so I'll alter that later. So yeah, the ticker will stop at pick 64. And then once we get to pick 65, I will reset it. As there are a lot of people on stage right now. Of course, Pat McAfee, most recently seen at WrestleMania the other week in that very weird cross between. It was a very weird situation. But oh well. So the San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. Teams will have 7 minutes on the clock tonight compared to the 8 minutes last night. And the pace is going to be much, much quicker for picks because we have a lot more to get through. It took about 3 hours to get through 32 picks last night. It is probably going to take about 3.5 hours to get from pick 33 to pick, 104, somewhere around there. So, yeah, we're going to be ripping through picks. Mel Kiper's best available, Denzel Boston, the wide receiver out of Washington, Zion Young, CJ Allen, Jermod McCoy, and Emmanuel McNeil. Warren, so yesterday, we were cheering big time for tackles to drop. The Lions got their tackle. Now, to start day 2, we are cheering very aggressively for these edge defenders to fall. So there are how many edges that I'd be interested in, or that the Lions would be interested in? There is 1, 2, 3. I don't think they'd like our Mason Thomas. 4, maybe 5, 6. Around 6 edge defenders that they would probably be content with if they want them. Jermod McCoy is fascinating, though, as well. So we are a big fan of letting the edges fall. No one is allowed to take an edge defender, please. Now, naturally, the Niners will probably take one right away. Now, of course, the Niners did not take anyone on day 1. They traded back to 33. Buffalo also did not make any picks last night. They were content to trade back as well. So the Niners, they are sticking and picking. There was more rumors about them trading back. There were a couple guys they were interested in. They decided to pass on them. But we shall see. As the Niners, they only averaged 3.8 yards per rush last year. They could go guard. Bolster the O-line. Who are some other guys that I'd be interested in here? So, I think similar to last night when I told you guys Blake Miller's the guy. I'm going to sit here right now. The Niners have not yet taken their pick 33rd overall. Gabe Akis is the guy. That's the Lions guy. That's the guy. I think Malachi Lawrence would have been interesting. I would love TJ Parker. I will say, yesterday I was all aboard the Blake Miller trade. I'm not as big on the Akis train. There are a couple guys I would also maybe prefer. But Akis definitely fits the bill as a Lions guy. So I want TJ Parker or Cassius Howell. I think they'll pick Gabe Akis. And then once we get into round 3, the Lions don't have a 3rd round pick. I don't expect that to stay. Whether it's a trade back at 50 or a trade up from 118, I think the Lions are going to make a 3rd round pick tonight as well. But Niners taking their sweet time. Maybe they go defensive tackle. Yeah, Caden McDonald and Christian Miller fell. They're more run defenders. Are they making a call? What are they doing? Hurry up. Oh, that's Cardinals. Mel's best linebackers available. Number 1, Zion Young. What? R. Mason Thomas. What? Not linebackers. They aren't linebackers. Those are edge defenders. Best DBs. Yeah, Jermod McCoy. Now, the Jermod McCoy stuff is fascinating because if he's healthy, he's arguably CB1 in the class. But the fact that he slipped to the second round, the knee must not be okay. It must not be okay. If the medicals haven't checked out, then that's not good. Oh right, I forgot the Niners added Odigizua, and they don't need a receiver. They added Mike Evans. Yeah, they could go guard. Who's the best guard available? It's Chase Bisontis. I could see that. Maybe a corner. Maybe they go Jermod McCoy or Avion Terrell. Just not an edge defender, please. Safety, maybe. That'd be I don't know. Niners could go a bunch of different ways. They had a great season, so but I could see guard for them. Guard for I will say, I just want to throw this idea out there. The Lions could go guard and just have the sickest offensive line you've ever seen for the next 3 to 4 years. But we shall see. That would be overkill. That would honestly be a exercise in gluttony at that point. But the pick is in for the Niners at 33. I think they're... I'm not going to pretend to know the Niners that well. I would love if they were going to take an edge, take R. Mason Thomas because he's a bit of a tweener, and I don't think the Lions would be as interested in him because he's more of a speed rusher. Zion Young, I actually do hope goes before the Lions because I think the Lions would like him, but he kind of profiles similar to Josh Pascal did way back when, where it's like, yeah, he's got some power. He's more of a run defender, but maybe can add a pass rush to his game. I would rather someone who's got a bit more pass rush juice. And I know the Lions don't like speed rushers, but so that's why I like Akis, more of a can crusher. TJ Parker, more of a speed to power guy. Who are the other ones? Cassius Howell, again, violent hands. So we shall see. But who do you guys want the Lions to take? As we await the commissioner coming back out. You know, I said I thought this was going to go faster. We are 11 minutes into day 2. And still waiting on the first pick. But the Cardinals are on the clock right now, so that is good. Because by the time this pick is announced, the Cardinals pick will probably already be in. And so we'll see. There's the commissioner. Nope, there's not the commissioner. There is someone. Who is this? Andy Lee announcing the pick for the 49ers. All right. What do you got, Andy? Who are the Niners going to take? Ooh, a wide receiver. Interesting. Where was he on the board? He's lower. He's down on Dane Brugler's board. He was 67th overall. Interesting. There is a rumor going around that the Lions are looking to grab one of the edge rushers at the trying to trade up for an edge rusher. Dude, if the Lions trade up for TJ Parker, I'm going to lose my mind. If the Lions trade up for TJ Parker, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to be so happy if that happens. Anyways, Arizona on the clock. They took Jeremiah Love, 3rd overall. Now you got to build around him. Get a guard. Get something to help him. Just not an edge. No one is allowed to take edge defenders, please. Nobody is allowed to take edge defenders. You got to draft a guard. Draft a guard. Draft a guard. Draft a guard. If the Lions are looking to jump up, that's going to be fascinating. Fascinating. But we shall see. If the Lions trade up, I think the Lions are going to make 2 picks today. I am decently confident in that. Decently confident. I wouldn't say fully confident, but I'm reasonably confident in saying that the Lions are going to make multiple picks today. So, we shall see. The Cardinals pick is in. Please take a guard. Who is announcing this pick? I can't see from the back. But the Cardinals pick is in. So on the clock is now the Bills. The Cardinals select. Who's Arizona take? Besantis. I told you, man, they need a guard. You draft Jadarian Price, you need to build around him. And Besantis was the best guard remaining. That makes a ton of sense. That's a good pick. For as much as Arizona was a head scratcher yesterday, that's a good pick. You've got to build around Jeremiah Love. Like, you've got to give him opportunity to succeed, and if you can beef up that O-line, then there you go. You got Paris Johnson on the left, you got Besantis at left guard, so now the left side of your O-line is presumably set. So that makes a ton of sense. Good pass protector, good run. Yeah, that's just solid. Super solid. No notes. No notes on that one. So, I mean, the Cardinals are going to be bad this year. They're going to be bad. They might not be horrible. I think that's the goal, right? Is to be bad enough to get a QB next year without being horrible. Because if you're horrible, that's a different problem. All right. Keep on slipping, edge guys. If the Lions take an edge, we are... Especially if it's Zion Young, whatever. But if it's TJ Parker, we're going to the Super Bowl. If it's TJ Parker, we lose our collective minds. I'm eyeing like the 40 range. You could jump up 10 picks. Because 15 spots, that's a bit aggressive, but... Bills, I think, are going to go DT. I think they could go Caden McDonald. Lions should be calling the Chiefs at 40, maybe. Bills pick is in. I think they might go on the interior. I think they go Caden McDonald. Although maybe they go offensive line to help protect Josh. Go receiver, Denzel Boston. Give Josh a new weapon. Perhaps could be indeed the move. But I think they go Caden McDonald or Christian Miller. That Bills run defense has been bad for a long time. You saw in the Patriots games, they cannot stop the run. Even in the Broncos game in the playoffs, they just can't stop the run. You leave the edge guys alone. Leave them alone. Jermod McCoy would be an interesting gamble, but I think McCoy's more of a gamble for a team like the Raiders or the Giants that's like, well, if it doesn't work out, you're not expecting to be a Super Bowl team anyways. For the Bills, you got to take guys who have a bit higher of a floor. I think it's got to be McDonald. Get someone who's a just anchor in the middle of that defense in the run game and go crazy. Obviously, they have a new head coach in Joe Brady. Sean McDermott's out the door. Epinesa and Joey Bosa are out the door. They could go edge. Please not edge. So the Bills pick. Who's it going to be? 35th pick. The Bills select. CJ Parker, no! Dang it. TJ Parker goes off the board. No! That's my guy. Dang it. That's a good pick for the Bills. I really wanted TJ. I was hoping the Lions would get TJ Parker. Oh well. All right, Gabe Akis, come on down. Dang it. There goes one of the edge guys. That's not fun. Cassius Howell or Gabe Akis, come on down. Zion Young actually would probably be the guy the Lions are the most interested in, but yeah. I really hope that they don't go really hope that they don't trade up for Zion Young. I might be a little annoyed at that one because Zion Young, I think, is another Josh Pascal that's just going to have absolutely zero juice in the as a pass rusher, and I want a pass rusher. But dang it, stupid Bills, stupid Bills. Wow, that's a nice house that TJ Parker's in. The Raiders trade their pick to Houston. Okay, Houston's jumping up. Houston moving up a couple of spots to 36. Well, the good news is I know Houston doesn't need an edge defender. So that's a little reassuring. They don't need anyone. So that's good. As we head to commercial break. So that gets edge guys. It's going to be Akis or it's going to be Cassius Howell, I think. It's going to be one of those two. One of those two. Do 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 do. I don't know who. Like I know the Lions might be interested in Zion Young. I'm just not as high on him because, yeah, like I said, he's not a pass rusher. But we shall see. Do 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 do. What else do we got here? So, what other positions might the Lions target? If they take a defensive tackle, I might lose my mind. They could pair Caden McDonald back with Tyleek Williams, reunite those two, and then nobody is running on the interior. But I worry about the edge. CJ Allen, maybe. Jacob Rodriguez would be interesting as a linebacker option. I don't know how good he is in coverage, but he could potentially compete for that starting Will spot. CJ Allen is a good run defender, but don't think he's as good in coverage. So we'll see. We shall see. R. Mason Thomas is just the one guy that I'm like. So of these edge guys, I think the Lions would take Zion Young. I don't think they would take R. Mason Thomas because he's more of a speed guy, and the Lions don't really like speed guys. Plays with grit, but his lack of length shows in the run game. Well, I mean, maybe because he's violent, they would consider him. I don't know. We'll see. That'd be an interesting one, R. Mason Thomas. But Texans pick us in at 36. Here come the Texans. So they took what did they take in round one? They took they took a guard, right. Um they took a guard in round one, so I think this is where Caden McDonald might go, or Christian Miller. Interior of the defensive line makes sense. Just continue to beef up your best position. It's already a strength. You can make it a legitimate superpower. Maybe it already is, but just get a little bit better on earlier downs. Let the edge guys cook a little bit more. So on the clock now is the Giants. Caden McDonald. What'd I tell ya? What did I tell ya? That made so much sense. That makes so much sense. So much sense. That defensive line is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my lord. You add Caden McDonald to that D line. Not. No one is ever going to be excited to play the Texans. Like that's going to be the worst time. Like that's just insane. Insane. I'd be so scared. If I'm I mean Cam Ward needs to up his life insurance policy. Um Jonathan Taylor, I'm sorry. You're dead. Like that's nasty, man. That's nasty. That is indeed pretty nasty, man. Pretty nasty. So the Lions are still 13 picks away. I'm telling you, I feel like Akis is the pick. Telling you. Telling you. If it's Zion Young, I'm going to be a little annoyed. Caden McDonald, good for him getting to walk the stage. I thought he was going to go to the Texans at the start of last round, but so the trade was Texans trade 38 and 91 for 36 and 117. Okay. All right. So the Raiders get to move up like 20 some odd spots. Giants pick is in. So hmm. Oh my lord. That highlight of him like just turning the running back around was crazy. Yeah, nope. Texans in the trenches are the most disgusting. Well, sorry, in one of the trenches are the most disgusting team. So, yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. I am hoping that either Cleveland or Vegas or anyone takes Zion Young because I don't want the Lions to be tempted by him because they will be, and I don't want them to be. You can give me Cassius Howell. You could give me R. Mason Thomas. You could give me Akis. You could give me Danny Dennis Sutton. You can give me like there's so many ways. I don't think it's going to be Dennis Sutton, but number of edges that I'd be content with. But I would like Zion Young off the board. I think he'll be a good run defender, and I don't question that. And he would be a useful run defender. I just want someone with some more upside as a rusher. I think there are a number of guys. R. Mason Thomas would be more of a pass rusher. I think Akis or Cassius Howell would be able to develop into good run defenders as well. I think Akis is probably already a decent run defender, um, whereas Howell's probably a bit more disruptive as a pass rusher. So maybe, yeah, I uh, I actually might prefer Cassius Howell now that I'm thinking about it. He's got good get off, got good agility. He's more physical than his size suggests, but he can struggle in the run. But I think you can work on that. Yeah, I think Cassius Howell is who I want, but I feel like Akis is who the Lions will want. I would love Cassius Howell. Cassius Howell would be sick. Here comes the Giants. All right, Giants. So on the clock now is the Raiders. Please, nobody take Cassius Howell or Gabe Akis. Giants select Colton Hood. Okay. McCoy's knee injury is real. Like the knee concerns are real. A different Tennessee corner goes off the board. Yeah, McCoy's knee is dead. Someone's gonna have to take a chance later. He's just not available. He's just not gonna be there. Just not gonna do it. But is what it is. Is what it is. So, I mean, we'll see what else. We'll see what happens with McCoy. I know the Lions were interested in him, so we'll see. But Colton Hood, Giants get their corner. It is interesting. I mean, the Giants have had a good draft so far. I mean, dude, you get Arvel Reese, who now you just have the most disgusting edge rotation in the league. You could even use him off ball if you want to. You've got Francis Maui Noah, who can shore up the O line, and then you get Colton Hood to shore up the secondary. Like the Giants are laying some good foundations right now with the picks that they've had. 3 in the top 37. Gotta like what you see there. Dude, Raiders pick is in. I hate this ESPN draft predictor tool. Oh, there was only a 15% chance that this player would be available at this spot. Okay, cool. Your predictor is flawed because you're going off assumptions. The predictor is built off of assumptions, not real things. All right, Raiders, you want to take Zion Young for me and get him off the board? Just leave Cassius Howell and Gabe Akis alone. Leave him alone, but the Raiders pick is coming in. Cleveland is now on the clock. And with the 38th pick, the Raiders select. Oh, never mind. Matt Millen's going to give a big speech. What on earth? Remember your mother's on Mother's Day. Okay, what? What is this? Mother's Day's not for a few weeks, pal. But okay. The Raiders select. Ooh, a safety, a different safety. Wow, McNeil Warren is slipping. Wow, where was Stukes on Brugler's board? He's down there. Unless he's listed as a corner. That's interesting. Man. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, he's listed as a corner. Okay, okay. Listed as a corner. Um, he was CB8 on Brugler's board. This is a Raiders type of pick. Okay. I'll just list him as a DB. Browns on the clock. I mean, the edge guys are falling. This is what we want. This is what we want. Let them fall. Like, so why Parker didn't fall, but let the rest of them fall. Browns could go edge. Could go edge. I could see them going McNeil Warren, get a safety in there to complement their corners. I don't know. We'll see what they decide to do. Are we going to a commercial? We're going to a commercial. So far, so decent, right? Like, so far, so okay. There's still a good amount of edge guys that are available. But I do wonder if a Kayron Crawford would appeal to the Lions as well. We'll see. We shall see. I would be intrigued at the prospect of just like you get any of these guys and I'll be happy because we need some legitimate help. And then if the Lions do go edge at 50, you maybe want a will linebacker. Like I'm going to be pounding the table for Kyle Lewis in the third round, for trading up for Kyle Lewis rather. I think if that happens, Super Bowl. At very least division title. But we're talking like the Lions are back. Back. Again, assuming health. But I think there's a lot of potential here. And so we are currently, the Browns are at what, 39, I believe? So we're creeping closer. They are indeed creeping closer. There's some weird ads that I'm being forced to watch. Do 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 do. The real question is how many people are going to be pissed when the Lions take not an edge. I think people are getting the Matt Millen sighting is gonna be a jump scare for a lot of folks. Do 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 do. I know how these. All right, Browns pick is in. Should be coming up momentarily here. Here we go. So the Chiefs are now on the clock. And with the 39th pick, the Browns select Joe Hayden. Oh, I thought he was going to troll Steelers fans. Denzel Boston. They go ahead and get a wide receiver for Ol Shadur. All right. Yeah, that's a good pick. They're insulating. 6'3", almost 6'4". That's an X wide receiver. Like that's a big boy. He can play slot. Shee. Shee. Oh man, that clip against Michigan is hilarious. Just breaks down the corner. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's a good pick for the Browns. Who did they? So they took Fano at 9. Who did they take at 24? It was. Who did they take? Did they take Casey? Did they take 2 receivers? I actually don't remember. Chiefs, you know you want to take Zion Young, Chiefs. You know you want to. Just don't even let the Lions consider it. Save them from themselves. Save them from themselves. Who did the Browns take yesterday, actually? Now this is going to bother me. Who'd they take at 24? It was the other receiver. Chiefs pick is in. What's up? How we doing? So Bengals on the clock now. You know you want to take Zion Young. The Chiefs select. R. Mason Thomas. All right, another edge off the board. I don't know if the Lions would have liked Thomas anyways, but that is another guy off the board, R. Mason Thomas. What's up, Zach? What is up? How we doing? Lions are due up in about 9 picks. So that's 2 edges off the board so far. Something to monitor. I didn't think the Lions were going to love R. Mason Thomas. Now I just need someone to take Zion Young. Bengals just traded for Dexter Lawrence, but I believe the Browns took the other one we were looking for. The Browns have taken 2 receivers and a tackle. Oh, you mean yesterday with Fano? It's possible. It is possible. Yeah, R. Mason Thomas is... Yeah, Fano. So, yeah, the Browns... I mean, I don't think Fano was ever going to make it to the Lions, but I think it was one of those where if he had got to like 11 or 12, the Lions might have traded up for him. That would have been a consideration, but I think the Lions are very content with where they ended up. Borderline happy, even. The Lions were going to trade up for Blake Miller, so... Bengals pick is in. Saints are now on the clock. Bengals could definitely take an edge. Oh, they added Jonathan Allen too. I forgot about that. But they lose Trey Hendrickson and Joseph Osai. They lost some guys. They need a defender. They could take Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Oh, they do have Shamar Stewart. I forgot about him. So yeah, maybe they go safety. Maybe corner. Maybe they go Jermod McCoy. They just need defense, so like any defense. So here come the Bengals. Why does Mel Kiper have wide receiver listed as the Bengals needs? Get out of here. Get out of here. Bengals select. No! The Bengals take Howell. You suck, Cincy. Why would you do that? The run on edges has really started. Dang it, I wanted Howell. Okay, give me Akis, Crawford. It's going to be Zion Young, isn't it? I don't want Zion Young. I don't want him. Like, he's fine, but he's a run defender. He's not a pass rusher. Someone please. Someone please save me. At this point, the Lions might as well take Jermod McCoy. Take the chance that he'll just be wicked. Dang it. I wanted Howell. That's such a good pick by the Bengals. Oh my lord. Howell next to DeMarcus, or next to Dexter Lawrence is going to be so disgusting. Bengals are they fixed their D line, arguably. If we get a decent edge, would the Lions then mainly focus safety or secondary in general? Maybe. I don't know. I think will linebacker, like a coverage linebacker, is the only need after edge. So you could go corner. You could take a safety, depending on how. Safety is entirely dependent on Kirby Joseph's health. Could go corner. You could go. At that point, you just go best player available. I would take a will linebacker, but you just go bet whoever the best player is. Marcus Colston out here to announce the Saints pick. Take Zion Young. Just get him off. Just get him off the board. The Saints select Christian Miller. Okay, defensive tackle off the board. Miami back on the board, on the clock here. That makes sense. Oh, I'm annoyed though. I'm very annoyed that Howell went. I mean, two edges going back to back is very annoying. Christian Miller, good run defender there for the Saints. He'll help their bottom line. So we got the Dolphins, the Jets at 43-44. The Dolphins are just going to take best player available. They honestly should take Jermod McCoy because they can afford to take the chance on him, on his health, because they're going to be bad anyways. Jets need a corner, and you know that Aaron Glenn would love that. Ravens, we know, are just such good drafters that it's going to be annoying. Bucks already got an edge, so they probably don't need another one. Colts could maybe use one. Falcons, I don't think need one. Vikings maybe at 49 could use one. But they probably, I don't know, they might need safety. If McNeil Warren at 49 would be unfortunate. So the Lions, I hope someone just takes Zion Young, and then the Lions can take someone else, but friendly neighborhood Chiefs fan checking in. I haven't heard anything about Thomas, but I wanted Casey to go wide receiver edge, so I guess I'm happy. Yeah, R. Mason Thomas, he's a little bit undersized, but he's got juice off the edge. Like, that's a good pass rusher. You already got Karlaftis. You already got Chris Jones. You already added a defensive tackle, Peter Woods, at the end of the first round. So that D-line is set. That D-line is perfectly set. And you got to be happy with that. And you got a new number one corner. So the Chiefs clearly want to get back to having an elite defense that is going to really be difficult to deal with in the playoffs. And I think they accomplished that. It's going to be a while before the Chiefs have picks of that quality again, have that many picks in the top 40. So they had to take advantage, and I think they did. I'm already bracing for the Zion Young pick. I'm bracing for it. Because I already know where this is trending. I can see the writing on the wall. Akis, I think, is the guy. I still think Akis is the guy, but I'm scared that the Lions are gonna take Zion Young over him. And it's not that Zion Young is bad. He's gonna be a good run defender, but I just don't think. I mean, he was number 3 in the SEC in pressures, but And he's got good energy and presence. He just doesn't have. I just don't think he's the pass rusher that I want. I think Akis is a lot more that guy. Quick and violent, who doesn't need a long runway. And he's got good heavy hands. I think he'll be good. I wouldn't mind Kayron Crawford either, as someone who's got more burst. Wouldn't mind. Danny Dennis Sutton would be interesting-ish, sort of. I'd almost rather Derek Moore than Danny Dennis Sutton, but like I think Derek Moore could be interesting. I don't know. I think he could be good. Oh boy. They're talking about Jermod McCoy. So yeah, they're talking about Jermod McCoy. That leads me to believe the Dolphins are taking him here. But if not, I would not say no to Jermod McCoy at 50. You get an arguable, like elite corner if he's healthy, and it would check the Brad Holmes box of injured guys. Although the Dolphins already did draft corner, so I'm lying. They're not going to probably not going to take him here. Jets are on the clock now as the Miami pick is being announced. Dolphins take. Miami Dolphins. Oh, Jacob Rodriguez. That was another guy that some folk wanted the Lions to consider. That's a good, yeah, get a good player. Get a good player. Good for the Dolphins. Look at that guy's mustache. That's a football player right there. All right. Lions, just a couple picks away. Jets, do they need an edge? No, they just took David Bailey. Ravens, do they need an edge? Maybe. Maybe. After them, I don't think the next three are going to take edges. The Colts could maybe take one. Atlanta won't. Minnesota might. Oh, we're going to get Zion Young. Peanut punch. We love a good peanut punch. Flat out playmaker. That's what you like to hear. We got a trade alert here. The Jets have traded back from 44. Oh, Detroit's on the clock. The Lions are on the clock. They've traded up to 44, and the pick is in, everyone. The Lions have traded up 6 spots here. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, are you going to take Zion Young, or are you going to take... I'm telling you, it's probably Akis. It's probably Akis. Megatron is up to announce the pick. Oh, I'm scared. Just give me Akis. Just give me Akis and let's be done with it. Just give me Akis and let's be done with it. Just give me Akis. What's up, Megatron? Talk to me. The Lions with the 44th pick take Derek Moore. Okay. The Michigan guy. Okay. I don't hate it. I certainly don't hate that. No, Derek Moore, that's good. So if you guys listen to the Pain and Drain show, Alex has been talking about this where Derek Moore didn't play. Basically, like, did not play. That's going to be fascinating. Two Michigan edge rushers. There you go. The Lions have their edge guy. He was a little bit lower on the board, and some people are not going to like that. Some people are not going to like that. But the Lions wanted their guy, and I think there's untapped upside there. I feel like people are going to be upset about that, but Michigan, all the Michigan guys in the world, Hutchinson's going to be so happy with that. Hutch is going to love that. Give me all the Michigan guys. All right, that's interesting. So with who's even on the clock now after Detroit? Baltimore. So with that, the Lions have addressed their two biggest needs. I think Moore should be a good get. He's not. I'm surprised he's. I am surprised they valued Moore over Akis and Zion Young. I am surprised about that, but we'll. Yeah. I'm very curious what the fan reaction is going to be. people. I love Lions fans. They're so stupid. Ah. So, but yeah, Derek Moore. So here's the profile on him from the Beast. A 2-year starter at Michigan, Moore played defensive end, mostly stand-up, in former defensive coordinator Wink Martindale's four-man front. His impact and production increased each season, and he led the Wolverines in tackles for loss, 10.5, sacks, 10, and forced fumbles, 2 as a senior, while part of a heavy rotation, only averaging 36.7 defensive snaps per game. He was one of the most efficient pass rushers in 2025, registered a pressure on 17.5% of his pass rush snaps, number 1 in the Big Ten, 17 in FBS. With his size and traits, Moore has been gradually ascending over the past 4 seasons. As a pass rusher, he gains ground quickly out of his stance with the momentum and length to be effective converting speed to power. He understands when to counter in his rush, but sometimes has tightness turning the arc and needs to patch together a better overall rush plan. He is unselfish as an edge-setting presence to keep the ball contained, although I'd like to see him be more of a playmaker in the run game. So, there you go. I mean, DJ Wanham will definitely be part of this rotation as well, but the Lions wanted and I mean, won the Natty in 23. He was a team captain in 2025. He was named their team MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in 2025. 41 total pressures, averaging 36 snaps a game. Like, he had a 92.4 pass rush grade. I'm happy with it though because he looks beefy. Yeah, I have a feeling he'll develop into the hope is that he develops into a 3-down guy. To start off, he's probably more of a pass rusher, which I won't complain about. Yeah, that is certainly interesting. So they and to see it to blah, blah, blah. I'm excited because they took an edge. I will say that caught me off guard. When they traded up, I thought they were going to take Zion Young or Akis. I did not think that they would value more so highly. But hey, that's edge. All right. That's enough typing away for me. Ravens pick is coming up here. All right. So how do we feel about that? Derek Moore, welcome to Detroit. Again, might not ever be a star, but you have a star. You just need consistent production. Alrighty. Ravens pick is in. The Bucks are now on the clock. At 45, oh, what was the trade, by the way? What did the Lions actually give up? Anyways, Ravens pick is taking forever to come in. What did the Lions give up? Do we not know? Anyways, the Ravens select Zion Young. There's a good run defender for Baltimore. So the Lions jumped the Ravens, who were looking for a pass rusher. Interesting. And Jesse Minter was Moore's DC at Michigan. What did we give up? Does anyone know the information? The first Lions edge drafted on day 1 or day 2 since the 22 draft when they took Hutch and Pascal. Stylistic fit in every way, possesses a strong bull rush motor power, and an unselfish mentality against the run. Yep. Oh, wait. Okay, so the Lions traded. They did trade 128. What was the full trade? Okay. Oh, wait. No one seems to know which. Okay, no. So they traded 128 to move up 6 spots. That's actually fine. That's fine. I'm totally fine with that. So tackle and edge are dealt with. You maybe need a will linebacker, maybe a tight end, but that's not an immediate need. Maybe a running back. I don't know. We'll see. Buccaneers on the clock. We'll deal with it later, though. The Lions get their guy. What is happening here? Is that Rondé Barber? The Buccaneers select Rondé Barber. Ooh, Trotter. Okay, another Mizzou guy. Back-to-back Mizzou guys. Off-ball linebacker for Tampa. Interesting. All right. Do. It's gonna be a while before I can get a video about this up, but it is what it is. Do 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 do. The Colts have traded their pick to Pittsburgh. Is this a QB? Do we think the Steelers are going up for Carson Beck? Do we think this is quarterback? There are still some fascinating guys still available, I gotta say. Jamal McCoy, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, Avion Terrell, D'Angelo Pons. There are some interesting names still on the board. Do 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 do. No 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 no. Let's see what they decide to do. Okay, yeah. So Steelers move up 6 spots here. You know what? Only sending 128 to move up 6 spots. Who did they take? A wide receiver. Oh, okay. Steelers going receiver. Jeremy Bernard. Do 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 do. Alrighty. So the Steelers take a receiver. All the Mizzou guys going. Well, I'm gonna try to find, if I find any like instant reaction content for Derek Moore, some other content rather. I will read this though. So this is from Alex. He covers Michigan sports, so he knows more very well. Blue chip recruit who flipped from Oklahoma to Michigan on signing day 2021 came in pretty college ready and was immediately a decent rotational player in 2022, then a co-starter on the national title team in 23. They wanted him to explode into an All-American as an upperclassman, but he never truly got there, but he was also not being coached at all in his junior year. He said he sent me a list of their preview for Edge from this past season. There's tons of tape from 24 in here on him as well. Some of our lofty expectations that weren't met. His counting stats don't blow you away, but on a per snap basis, he was super efficient as a pass rusher. Michigan used him in a truly baffling rotation, so he only played 30 to 40 snaps a game, while a total bum played the other 30 snaps because of our pervert head coach who didn't know who the good players were. So, a guy that covers Michigan feels pretty good. So we're feeling pretty good. We're feeling pretty good. Yeah, there's not much that to be disappointed in. Not much at all. This is shaping up to be about as good of a not as good, like obviously they could have got like a better edge, but in terms of you're fitting your positions of need. You get an edge, you get a tackle. What else is there to complain about? When I was talking about the Lions' needs in videos this offseason, I framed it as in a way that I was like, look, Yes, the Lions need a tackle. They need an edge rusher. You get both of those, we're talking about the Lions immediately being back in contention for the NFC North. The Lions are immediately in contention for the NFC North again. It's going to come down to the games in the division against the Bears, against the Packers, and against the Vikings. If you go 4-2 in the division, you probably win the North. And you're hosting a playoff game. And I mean, the Seahawks are obviously going to be the favorites in the NFC, the Rams as well. Would you put the Lions as the third best roster in the NFC? Fourth, maybe, if you want to put the Eagles up there. It probably goes Seahawks, Rams, Eagles, Lions, with the Lions having as much potential as anyone to climb that list. Just saying. Obviously, depends on health, but the Lions, they accomplished what they needed to. And there's still another 200 picks in this draft for them to continue to bolster the roster. If they trade up for Kyle Lewis in the third round, I'm going to lose my mind in such a good way. Atlanta Falcons pick is in at 48. I can't believe the Lions did that, though. That's sweet. Only cost 128 to move up 6 spots. Thank you, Aaron Glenn. That's a steal. Like, sure. Keep your 128th pick. There you go. All right. Falcons, who are they going to go with? They could go edge. They could go in a number of directions. The Vikings are going to get Emmanuel McNeil-Warren at 50 or 49, and I'm going to be so upset. I'm going to be so upset. Atlanta. The Atlanta Falcons select Oh, that makes so much sense. The Falcons select Avion Terrell, AJ's brother, and the Falcons are going to have 2 Terrells starting at outside corner. That makes so much sense. They get to room together. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that for them. That's awesome. The brothers reunited. That's like I remember when the Lions drafted Julian Okwara and he got the phone call and then he was able to like look at Romeo and be like, we're gonna be roommates. AJ AJ Terrell, he can't even hold it in. Like he's a mess with the tears. Both of them are. That's awesome, man. How can you not be romantic about football? Good for the Falcons. Good. That's an awesome moment. That's super cool. That's awesome. All right, so the Vikings are on the clock now. If the Vikings take McNeil Warren, I'm going to be very sad. I'm going to be very sad. So they took Caleb Banks in the first round. We have a trade alert. The Vikings are trading down. They trade the pick to Carolina. I'm not going to lie. I saw the blue and I was like, what did Detroit just do? But no. They trade down with Carolina. Carolina jumps up. What are they going to do? How long is Jermod McCoy going to last? That's the question. And how long is Emmanuel McNeil-Warren going to last at this point, man? Like, this guy, how is he still on the board? McNeil-Warren, but Jermod McCoy. We'll see how this goes. So what do the Panthers need? 49 and 159 in exchange for 51 and 196. So the Vikings get to move up 37 slots from those picks. Tight end, edge. Ooh, Eli Stowers maybe? Or maybe they could take Akis. They did take Nick Scorton last year. They could pair another second-round edge with him. Who's coming up to the podium? No, it's not Kuechly, is it? I don't think so. No. I don't even know who that is. A nose tackle, Lee Hunter. Interesting. Beef up the run. Beef up the run, D. He was listed 55th on Dane Brugler's board. Top interior defensive lineman remaining. Don't hate that. Certainly don't hate that. Yeah, good for the Panthers. Good for the Panthers. So Monroe Freeling and Lee Hunter, the Panthers beefing up the trenches. You can definitely see league-wide the emphasis being placed on the trenches after the last couple of Super Bowls where the Eagles just dominated the Chiefs a few years ago in the trenches. Last year, the Seahawks just overwhelmed the Patriots. You saw how effective the Texans were without an offense just because their D-line was good. Oh, that's such an... I love that moment between the Terrells. That's so awesome. So Jets on the clock here with their 4th top 50 pick. This obviously the pick that they traded down to with the Lions, so... All right. Colton Pouncey posting you guys know the Lil Yachty like concert entrance, and Colton posted it saying Brad Holmes coming downstairs at the end of the night after drafting a tackle and an edge when they needed a tackle and an edge. Surely no one will be mad at Brad Holmes anymore. All this talk about Brad Holmes and he's overrated, whatever. He has now built a roster with one hole on it. Will. Seems like it's it. That's yep. Here's what Justin Rogers wrote about Derek Moore a couple weeks back. What the film shows, Moore doesn't have a defining trait. Instead, he does nearly everything of to varying degrees above average as a pass rusher, making for an effective total package. The hand usage stands out, both his ability to generate shocking pop or swipe away the blocker's hands to negate their punch and latch. Moore is effective at timing the snap, which can put a tackle in a bind, allowing him to bend the edge before they reach their anchor point. He also shows an ability to redirect inside, including a knack for finding lanes when working stunts. As a run defender, he fights to not be displaced and is one of the more reliable tacklers on this list, rarely letting a ball carrier escape his vicinity. So he does fit the bill as one of those good at everything, not great necessarily at everything or anything. So he was at the Senior Bowl. We know the lines like they're Senior Bowl guys. Um, this is from The Ringer. From Jeremy Reisman. Nasty Derek Moore stat from The Ringer. He was ridiculously effective when asked to pin his ears back and get after the passer, finishing last season with a 36% win rate in true pass rush situations, 10th amongst edge rushers with 100 pass rush reps. That'll do. He definitely has it seems like a guy who has untapped upside. Jets pick coming in now. I'm going to be excited about that. I'm going to be excited about that. So Jets pick coming in. They've taken a receiver, a tight end, and an edge. Corner. They traded Sauce. Jamal McCoy. D'Angelo Pons. Okay, so they do go corner. They just go a different. Dude, how bad is McCoy? Nick Baumgartner saying Aaron Glenn drafts Aaron Glenn. do. All right. So you know what? Yeah, I'm honestly chill. I'm so chilling at this point. Like I'm so relaxed. We're an hour and a half in, and we're through 17 picks. We really got to pick this up. So D'Angelo Pons goes 50. Minnesota is still going to be able to take a safety. If not, Green Bay is also on the board at 52. Oh, don't let the Packers get McCoy. For the love of God, if the Vikings and Packers go back to back Emmanuel McNeil Warren and Jermod McCoy, I'm going to lose my mind. And the NFL draft just got taken off my feed. Okay. I mean, sure, I didn't want to watch it anyways, I guess. Why did it just put the basketball game on? I don't want the basketball game. There we go. Vikings pick is in. Please, please do not go. Do not go McNeil Warren or McCoy. Go anything else. Take an offensive lineman. Take a more boring pick. They need a safety. They need a corner. They need a running back. You could take a running back. I'd be fine with that. CJ Allen's the best on Mel's board. Jermod McCoy is, but they could go Pregnon. Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I wouldn't be mad at that. We'll see what they do, though. Here comes the pick. No, screw the Vikes. The Vikings select linebacker. Okay, Jake Golday. They skip out on what's his name? They skip out on CJ Allen and go straight to Jake Golday. He was 48th on Dane Brugler's board, so not like it's a reach or anything, but that's interesting. Now the stupid Packers. I'm fine with that. He's a good linebacker, but the Vikings have good linebackers, so I feel like they're kind of adding to an existing strength. I am scared. The Packers, please do not let the Packers take McCoy or McNeil Warren. Or no, the Packers are going to get Akis. After I talked him up for the Lions as a possibility, the Packers are going to get him, aren't they? No, because they just got rid of Rashawn Gary too. Oh, that would be so... They either get a safety who fell to 52, a corner who's maybe injured, but it's the Packers, so like if McCoy gets taken here, you know his knee is fine and he's going to be an all-pro immediately. So please, dear God, no. If they take Akis here, I'm going to be sad. Please no. Please no. Packers' first pick of the draft. Their pick is in. I'm scared. Commercial break first, so I get to agonize over this first. I will say, though, I'm very happy with the Lions draft. I think if the Lions can add a like a coverage linebacker, again, please. If the Lions draft Kyle Lewis later, do you know how out of my mind I'm going to get? I'm going to lose my mind in such a good way. Like, I will jump for joy. Like, that's the one guy that I'm like, fits. Just a defensive playmaker. And then at that point, it'd be like, okay, whatever you want to do, I'm cool with. You could take a receiver, you could take a tight end, you could take a running back, you could take a defensive tackle, you could take a safety, you could take a corner. I would not care any way about it. Would not care. But yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Do 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 do. Do no 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 do no do no do no do no. What up, though, Megatron? I'm just rewatching the Aaron Glenn pick. I want to hear the quote. Aaron Glenn just drafted himself. Is crazy. That's crazy work. Do new new do new new new. So, I do wonder, like, if Derek Moore is just gonna, especially not being the guy, but he being a complementary piece opposite Hutch. If Aleem McNeil can get back to form, Lions pass rush actually could be pretty nasty next year. In theory. All right, Packers, just take a guard. Please do not let these guys get Jermod McCoy or McNeil Warren or, like, actually, they don't really need a safety. Do not let these guys get McCoy. Do not let these guys get McCoy. They don't deserve him. They don't deserve him. I hate the Packers so much. Like, you can take a guard, take a receiver, take Carson Beck. I Can the Packers just take Carson Beck or something? Like, let me laugh at them. Please, please, no, 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 no. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Please. Packers pick is coming in. Please no. Please no. Please no. Please no. Please not McCoy. Okay, they go Cisse, a corner. I can live with that. They go a different corner. I can live with that. I'm more scared of McCoy. I mean, it's the Packers, so I'm sure Cisse will turn into an All-Pro. I can live with that. I can live with that. That doesn't, like, my life isn't ruined by them taking him here. My life is not ruined by that. I can live with that. I can live with both those picks. He was CB7 on Dane Brugler's board. He's really young though. He doesn't turn 21 till July. Explosive athlete, plays with excess burst and speed to fly to the football, tends to declare his hips early and relies too heavily on athleticism rather than his technique or anticipation, leading to losses. When he finds the football, he's capable of impressive athletic feats to knock it away, but needs to be more consistent with his body phasing to shrink catch windows. Despite needing to clean things up in his run game, the downhill toughness is great to see. So, super athlete that needs refinement in his technique. I'm fine with that. Like, sure, he can probably keep up with JMO, and a guy like Amon Ra would probably cook him. There we go. The Colts pick is in. Oh, God. McAfee up. You know, used to love Pat McAfee like 4, 5, 6 years ago. I find him exhausting nowadays. Like, Pat's just a little, he's doing too much. He's just doing too much. No, he's not. He's talking about Sauce Gardner. Oh boy, this is doing too much. He's referencing Jim Irsay, who is dead, saying that Jim Irsay from the heaven. Oh God. Oh boy. CJ Allen is the pick. Pat's doing too much, man. Pat's doing way too much. So anyways, that pick is in. Eagles are on the clock. I could definitely see them taking an edge, but they like their speed guys more than their power guys. So I don't know how much a guy like Akis would appeal to them. I wonder if who's the best player available? Jermod McCoy. They don't need a corner though. Maybe, do they need a safety? Not really, but they could take McNeil Warren if they just want to take the true best player available. Um, they don't. They already took a wide receiver. They don't need a linebacker. They could take edge. I could see them taking edge. I could see them taking like a Danny Dennis Sutton. Or actually, I wonder if they go Eli Stowers. Because I think Goddard they re-signed to like a 1-year deal or something. But long term, they need a tight end. You could get Stowers to be a reserve and then figure the rest out later. Let's see, what do the Eagles got? So on the clock now is the Chargers. Brian Westbrook out to make the pick. This could be an Eli Stowers pick. Who they got? Eli Stowers. What did I say? What did I say? That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. More of a receiver than a blocker, but makes sense. Everything the Eagles does makes sense, though. So, anyways, Chargers on the clock now. We're getting to the end of round number 2. We'll probably be there in the next half hour. And then we'll rip through round 3. Like, round 3 is going to fly by. So the Lions, they traded 128 to move up. I do think... Oh, trade alert. The Chargers have traded their pick to the New England Patriots. Patriots back on the clock here. They were supposed to be at 63. They move up to 55. The pick is in as we head to commercial break, which does not mean much, but interesting. I'm the fact that Jermod McCoy is if McCoy makes it to the 3rd round, at some point you got, and McNeil Warren falling this far is also insane. Now I don't think the Patriots will take McCoy. They could take McNeil Warren. That would be a good fit. Akis would be an interesting fit. It's gonna get to a point though where I'm gonna be like at the Lions, if these guys are still available, trade up for them. I want Kyle Lewis more than anyone right now though to fill the last remaining need. So we'll see. We will see, but yeah, it's hard not to be happy right now with what the Lions have done. Do 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 do. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Oh yeah, I forgot the Lions have Peyton Turner. I knew they had Hassanin. So now the edge room is Hutchinson, Moore, Wanham, Turner, Hassanin. So there's 5 guys in that room. You'll probably add someone else at some point. But if you're 4, or maybe 5, maybe you bring 5. But if Peyton Turner's your fourth, sure, he could be your fourth. He can play 5 snaps a game. Occasionally spell Hutchinson. I mean, if Hutchinson's going to play 80% of snaps, right? So if Turner plays a half dozen a game, if Wanham is playing 30%, and well, actually no, the theory would be that Turner's the fourth, and then between Hutchinson, Wanham, and Moore, Hutch will probably play like 75% of snaps, and the other two will just split the remaining. But like the idea is between the 200% that's available between those two positions, each of them plays 66% and they all play 2/3. But I think what'll actually happen is Hutchinson probably plays 80% and the other two split the remaining 60%, like 60% each. So the Patriots pick is in. We're going to have a quick message from the United States service members, though. A quick message from the Marines. Oh, it's an America 250 thing, like the 250th birthday of America. Mm-hmm. Who did the Patriots take at the end of the first? Oh, they took Lomo, didn't they? Right. So could definitely see the Patriots taking a safety here. They could take McNeil Warren. I could certainly see that. After this pick, I'm going to go grab a beer. With the 55th pick, the Patriots select Akis. They do take Akis. Okay. There he goes. So he ends up going 55. Not bad. Certainly not a bad pick. Again, I wanted the Lions to take him at 50 over Zion Young. Obviously, the Lions got their guy regardless, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, cool. That works for me. That works for me. All right, I'll be right back. Alrighty, let's boogie. Whoa! 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 I leave for 1 minute, and the Vikings trade Jonathan Grenard. What on earth? Oh, hold on. Hold on. Woo! That caught me off guard. Woo! 1 sec. Woo! Hold on. The Vikings have traded Jonathan Grenard for 2 third-round picks. I like that. Because I hate playing Jonathan Grenard. He also gets a $100 million contract extension as well. Wow. I know he's expensive, but thank you. Thank you. Okay, Jags pick is in. Jags take a tight end. Well, that's not good for my Brenton Strange stock. Borkircher. Oops. Borkircher. There we go. Bears now on the clock. The Bears took a safety on day one. Are they going to take Jerron McCoy and make me sad? Are they going to take... What edges are still available? Are they going to take a K'Ron Crawford or a Danny Dennis Sutton? When Anthony Hill would make a lot of sense, get another linebacker in there. Maybe I don't think they need a tackle. They could take a guard, but we'll see. We shall see. Bears on the clock. We'll see what they do. I'm just happy because Grenard's gone. We like that. Back to another commercial. We just had one. What on earth? Immediately back to another one that quickly? Alrighty. So if the Bears take Jerron McCoy, I mean the fact that Jerron McCoy has fallen this far, the Rams should be salivating right now. Bears have 2 picks coming up here. Unless I mess something up, but... Do. So we'll see. So far, pretty good. Second round's been pretty exciting. Hasn't been as chaotic as the first round. In terms of just like players going completely randomly. I think the closest is ironically the Niners who got the party started. But so the Bears have 2 picks coming up. I would hate if they got... Please don't give them McCoy. Please don't. They could take a receiver and a guard or something like that. That would be acceptable for me. I just don't want it. I don't want to know. I don't even want to know. Um. Do. Da-na-na-na. This commercial break is taking forever. I was hoping we could be out of the second round in 2 hours. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. We still have 8 picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks to go. The third round is going to have to fly by. Fly by. But Bears pick is in, so this should get announced right quick. Do. All right. Can we just announce the stupid Bears pick? Take a guard or a receiver, please. You guys don't need either. That's why I want you to take them. Although they do kind of need a center, so Drew Dahlman retiring kind of unexpectedly. So they do kind of need a center. The only Football Hall of Fame player drafted 57th overall in the Common Era draft was the Bears' Devin Hester. Hey. Can these guys hurry it up? We've been waiting 10 minutes. Come on. Here we go, finally. Bears pick. Chicago. Hmm. Everyone hates the Packers. What did I say? They need a center. They need a center. Logan Jones. Where was he on the board? Logan Jones. He's pretty far down there. Wait, no, he must have been higher and been taken off this list. He was third. But he must have been like he was ranked the third best center. So he was somewhere between 92. He was probably 95th on the board. 95th on the board. It's a bit of a reach, but they need a center. They needed a center. We have another trade alert. The Niners are trading back. The Niners are allergic to making trades. Or to making picks. The Cleveland Browns are back on the clock. The Browns, I'm assuming they're top of the third round. The Niners just don't want to make picks in this draft. They simply don't want to. The Niners moved down 12 more spots. Joe Hayden back up here. McNeil Warren. Thank you. They finally end his stupid slide. McNeil Warren, the safety out of Toledo. Thank you. Thank you for letting that go. All right. So the best on the board is far and away Jermod McCoy now. Like, he's the only one who Brugler had a first round grade on that's still available. That is a excellent pick for the Browns. The Browns have had a very solid draft. Very solid draft. So, good. I mean, dude, that's a crazy draft. Spencer Fano, Casey Concepcion, and Denzel Boston, and now Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Like, an offensive tackle and two receivers, so that offense should be greatly improved. That defense is already great, and you add a great safety to it. Like, man alive. Like, that's fantastic for the Browns. The Browns, with semi-competent coaching, could be a playoff team, but their ownership sucks. So it probably won't matter. Texans on the board. What do the Texans even need? Probably offense. Probably offense. I didn't even switch over. Chicago's back on the clock. Screw you, Cowboys. What is going on? I don't know. So Texans 59, they could go maybe another guard. They already got one though. Receiver? Texans. Tight end. They go Klein. Interesting. So that's 3 tight ends off the board in the last half dozen picks. Where was he on the board? He was ranked 128th overall. A lot of other tight ends are being overlooked here. I mean, the Jags already went kind of off the board. But interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I wonder. Okay, so Bears back. Oh, nope, there was a trade. Bears are not on the clock anymore. The Bears have traded down 9 spots to 69. Nice. The Tennessee Titans are back on the clock here. Well, I won't complain about that. Won't complain about that one bit. Do. No. Alrighty. Yeah, Browns are having an excellent draft. Excellent draft so far. I think I might wrap this up at the end of the second round here, so I can go get working on the Derek Moore video and get some reaction content up quick. And then if the Lions trade into round 3, you'll just get a much quicker instant breakdown. I think is what we'll do. Because we're 2 hours in and we still haven't gone through the third round at all. So it'd probably be better if like this is gonna be a 5-hour stream and I'm not ready. I ain't built for that, man. I am not built for that. Yeah. I think we'll wrap up after round 2 here. All right. Do. All righty. Brad Holmes says Derek Moore was the Lions' top ranked edge entering day 2, so that's above Parker, above Akis, above all these other guys. Brad Holmes saying you're gonna get off my ass now. Brad Holmes on going tackle and edge. It really did line up. We always said we're going to take the best player. These were the guys that we liked. When it kind of blends together like that, it's really nice. Couldn't be happier. There you go. So Titans on the clock here. They are coming in 60th overall. Tennessee Titans select. Anthony Hill. Another linebacker off the board. Titans shoring up their defense a little bit. Rams now on the clock. Again, the Rams. They've been looking for a corner. I'm just saying. Someone's got to end this slide for Jermod McCoy. You would think. You would think at least. All right. So, yeah, Titans, they traded up for, was it Falk that they got the end around one? Yeah, so you get a linebacker and an edge defender for Robert Saleh to go play with on defense there. And you get a wide receiver for Cam Ward and Kyle Tate. So, certainly a solid start. Rams pick is in. They, of course, shocked everyone taking Ty Simpson in the first round. What do you do here? What do you do here? Do you go receiver maybe to ensure Devontae long term? Do you go corner? I mean, do you end the Jermod McCoy slide? Please? Someone? Another tight end, Max Clare. Okay. That actually kind of makes sense, though. People thought they might go a tight end in the first round. Do. So the Rams get a tight end for Stafford. Denver is now on the clock, 62nd overall. Doon. We have a trade alert. Broncos are trading out. Broncos trade the pick to the Buffalo Bills. The Bills want someone. All right. Do the Bills want a corner? Perhaps. I don't know what the trade was. All right. They've got to be going corner here. They've got to. Or maybe edge, but probably corner. I feel like they've got to. Um. Okay, Brad Holmes said he doesn't foresee the Lions making any more moves tonight, but won't immediately turn any offers down. Okay, so it seems like the Lions are not going to jump up into round 3 after all. And they got an edge and a tackle, so they can afford to just sit back, see where the board falls, and just take guys. Do. All right. So probably the final commercial break of round 2 here. Then we just kick back and watch round 3. Do. I will say the Lions' track record with second round picks lately has been inconsistent to say the least. In the first draft, the Sewell draft, they took Onwuzurike in the second round, who showed flashes, but he battled injuries and couldn't stay healthy. Still can't. The next year, the Hutchinson draft, they take Josh Pascal, who just never really turned into anything. The third year, they get Laporta and Brian Branch, who were both Pro Bowlers, both fantastic values. Then in 2024, they took Rakestraw, who's been hurt and can't get on the field. And then last year, they took Ratledge, who looks like a good starter. So there's no in between. He's either going to be Derek Moore is either going to be a rock star or never play. Those are the only two options. Do. Can we get these commercials out of my face? Please and thank you. Do. Yeah, it certainly seems like the Lions jumped Baltimore. Like it seems like the Ravens were going to take Derek Moore and the Lions jumped them. So that's interesting. We got 3 more picks to rattle off here: Bills, Chargers, and Seahawks, and then we'll start round 3 and we'll wrap up this show. So it'll be about just under 2.5 hours. I guess from the time the second round started, probably about 2 hours, probably 2 hours 15 to get to the end of the second round. So they got to start rattling through the third round in order to get through it quickly ish. All right, Bills taking their pick. They traded up here. They are selecting. The Buffalo Bills select. Igbinosa, another corner that isn't Gerard McCoy. Dude, someone's going to get the most disgusting value. Someone's getting the most disgusting value. Igbinosa ranked 68 on Dane Brugler's board. Jermod McCoy just sitting all his knee must be destroyed. Brad Holmes laughing, saying, "I guess I followed everyone's mock drafts this year." He's obviously always making jokes about the mock drafts every year. Alrighty. So the Bills in the second round, TJ Parker, who is a great pick, Igbenogson, who is a solid pick. Reinforcing the defense because the Bills' defense was horrible. Horrible. They couldn't stop anything. They couldn't stop a single thing. So that's good for the Bills. They got to reinforce that defense. Chargers pick is in. Continue to beef up your O-line. Continue to beef up your offense, please. Give Mike McDaniel more toys to play with. Last year, the Chargers used 18 different offensive line combinations, the most in the NFL. Yikes. Not what you want to see. Do. So, Chargers. Hampton was the best rusher amongst rookies last year. Granted, in limited action. They lost in the wild card to the Patriots, where their offensive line couldn't do a single thing. I wouldn't blame them going guard here. Who's the best guard on the board? The top guard is Emmanuel Pregnon. Take him. Just take him. Don't overthink it. Just take offensive line. Because they don't need tackle. So just take your best available guard. Simply take the best guard. Here we go. Give it to, like this. This would be the shoe-in pick, but just do it. Come on. Chargers pick. Oh, nope. We got to announce 45 things first. Oh. I don't know what that was. That was bizarre. 63rd pick. The Chargers select. Okay, well, they take a different guard. Jake Slaughter. Which, I mean, that's a great name for an offensive lineman, if I do say so myself. Like, your name is Slaughter? Yeah, that guy's going to destroy some things. Or he's more of a center. Okay, sure. Cool. They take a center. Center, guard, he could probably play both. So, that doesn't matter. So one more pick, just the Seattle Seahawks to close out this second round. And that'll wrap up this show. But the third round is still going on, so we'll have content. The reactions from the Derek Moore pick will go up in the next half hour. And then I'll have a video going up for Derek Moore in a little bit. I'll watch some of the third round first. Even if the lines aren't going to be active in the third round, we're going to pray that Kyle Lewis falls. That's what we're going to do. Because if Kyle Lewis can fall to 118 somehow, I would love it. Do. Of course, we have to have one more commercial break. Seahawks can do literally whatever they want. I don't think they need a DB. They could maybe go defensive tackle. Maybe. I mean, at what point do you just like someone's got to do? The Cardinals could take Jermod McCoy. They took Will Johnson last year, who had the injury concerns, and he wound up being really solid in year one. You could do the same thing again and just end up with two really good corners. But who knows? Who knows? I'm very curious to see how bad a shape McCoy's knee is in. If if it was fully healthy, he probably would have been a top 20 pick. He's now falling out of the top 2 rounds. So do. No, my lord, these commercial breaks are taking forever. Who's being drafted? At this point, just spoil it, Twitter. Just spoil it. The Seahawks are selecting Bud Clark, the safety. So that will wrap up the second round, which will wrap up the broadcast here. So again, third round still going on. We'll have reaction content going up on the channel this eve. And enjoy the third round, everyone. Enjoy day 3 tomorrow. And until next time, my friends, cheers.